everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, like all
This
of that,
is so
like everyone saying hello from the chat is just, I'm like emotional. It's fine. Get it together. Okay, Ali, you can start.
we are very excited. It's so nice. Like, and everyone from all over the US, actually all over the world. There's someone from Canada. This is amazing. Thank you so much for being here to celebrate one of my favorite books that I have read ever. Wait, this is the problem of having the background.
I know. Here,
It's
I'll do it. I'll do it. Here you
Thank
go.
you. I mean, I think it's actually on brand. It's very ghostly, like it disappears like a ghostly editor.
Is it? Mine's kind of like backwards, which it's fun. This is fun.
But thank you so much for being here. So this is this lovely lady who's here with me is Ashley Poston, who is the author of The Dead Romantics, which came out a few weeks ago and is the hang on, I wrote it down, is the July fiction monthly pick for Barnes and Noble. So that's a huge deal. If you've been at Barnes and Noble this month, you probably have seen it all over the place, and that is so deserved because this book is so amazing. So if a book came as part of your ticket, just a reminder that you are going to receive the signed book within the next 8 to 10 days in the mail. And also a reminder that there is a Q&A box. And if you want to drop us a question, you can just write me in there, and hopefully we'll be able to get to it. We're just gonna chat for, I don't know, half an hour, and then we're going to open it up and see what's going on. Okay, so first of all, Ashley, thank you so much for writing this book, first of all, and for being here and for wanting
Thank
to
you
chat
for blurbing it.
Oh my
Your
God.
blurb is amazing. I mean, I think it might be. I think it might be on the cover. I'm not sure.
It's on the
I'm gonna have
cover.
to double check.
It's on the cover. I'm actually, like, I was looking in the 5 minutes while we were waiting for the start of the event, which, by the way, when the graphic became animated, I was like, oh, gasp, this is so beautiful.
No, I was like, look at the ravens.
Same. I was like, amazing. Oh my God. Anyway, I was looking at it, and like the way they wrote my name is like the way I wish I were able to like sign my books. I was like, I'm gonna have to like just trace it and learn how to do it. So
And learn how to do it right. I was like, that's not fair. I'm not that graceful with my name either. So I'm
same.
like setting me up for failure.
But okay, I still remember I think it was last year. I think it was still 2021, and I got an email from, I think, your editor asking me if I was interested in reading this book. And I remember like seeing the plot and thinking, oh my God, this is such a like unique and amazing story. I want to try to read it, and I loved it so much. So, I mean, do you want to tell us a little bit about what the story is? And I'm not sure where we stand with spoilers in this event, because I'm assuming there probably are people who haven't read the book yet.
Yeah, let's try to keep it mostly spoiler free.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a spoiler that it's a happy ending, because like
Happy
I want to make
ending.
that very clear. There's a happy ending, I promise.
I've been pimping this book to all my friends, and the first thing that I tell them is it seems impossible that there's going to be an happy ending, but the happy ending is so good in the end. Like it's so satisfying. I know it seems like you can't get there, but you can.
And yeah, it's like this, like, don't worry, I promise I'm not gonna do that to you. I'm not gonna do that to me.
Ashley wouldn't. She wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I couldn't.
Tell us everything about this amazing book, how it started, how the idea started, what it is about. Yeah.
Okay, so The Dead Romantics is a story of a ghostwriter for a very famous romance novelist, and she no longer believes in love. And she must return to her family's funeral home to say goodbye and to bury her late father. And along the way, she finds herself haunted by the ghost of her very hot and very like recently deceased editor. So it's about that, and it's funny, but it's also deals with grief and of course like the death of her father. And yeah, I started writing this actually as a Raylo fic.
Wait, what is this Raylo you speak of?
Ooh, I don't
more.
know. Ali, I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Raylo before, but
Tell
it's
me.
this thing, it's this ship name in this fandom called Star Wars.
It's the one with Spock, right?
Oh yeah,
It's that one.
I think it is the one with Spock.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, look
yeah,
how
it's that one.
easily you did that. I had to like
I can do it.
that's a skill. Oh my god.
Thank you. Yeah, like it started as a Raylo fic, which by the way, huge fan of your fanfics, by the way. I've been a fan for years. So,
Oh my god.
I am, this right here is like a dream for me, because like, especially after like the Rise of Skywalker, I needed like a lot of comfort, and
Moment
yours,
of silence.
right, RIP. But yeah, your fics have been a comfort for me, so thank you.
It's always so nice, like when you like to meet someone and like, you know, chat with someone, and then like a little bit into the relationship you find out that like you have been on AO3 at the same time, and like you kind of know each other from AO3. For people who don't know, AO3 is this big website where all the fan fiction is kind of archived and posted. And yeah, I love meeting AO3 buddies.
I know, me too. AO3 is Archive of Our Own. It was created by Naomi Novik and a few other authors. And it's a Hugo Award-winning archive, actually.
And we, as writers who have posted on AO3, have won a Hugo Award. I consider myself
exactly.
a Hugo Award winner.
Yeah, I am definitely a Hugo Award winner with all my Omegaverse.
Same.
Absolutely. But anyway, yeah. The Dead Romantics began as a Raylo fic for like the first 3 chapters, but then I decided that I needed to take this book in a different direction, because for me, like fanfic writing is like really fun for me, and I want to keep it fun. And when I was writing The Dead Romantics, which wasn't called The Dead Romantics at the time,
what was the original title, if you can tell us? No problem if you don't want.
The original title is Force Ghost Coast to Coast.
Best title ever.
like seriously, it was horrible. I was like, I always give myself like weird nicknames.
It's it's truly a perfect fanfic title. I love it.
But you can't find it anymore, because I took it down after like 1 chapter, and I was like, no, we're going to go this a different way. And so
I'm so glad you did. Like it's we got this, so I'm so excited.
Right? Like I shook out the plot, and I was like, I'm going to write a book about a conversation to myself about the death of a loved one, because recently someone who was very close to me had passed, and I realized that this could be the conversation to myself. And I and like I was saying, like fanfic for me is really fun and like just smutty and just like not very, it's like what I go to when I want to remind myself why I love writing. So I knew Dead Romantics would be a different kind of journey. So I wanted to give it like a different treatment. So that's the story of Dead Romantics. And then I wrote a bit, and then I sent it off to my agent, and I was like, this is really weird. I really hope you like it. And my agent was like, actually, I really love it. And then we sent it out to publishers, and it landed with Amanda Bergeron at Berkeley, and she's been a dream to work with. So
I met your agent totally by chance. I met her in person this weekend. She was a comic.
Holly? Oh, she's so cool, isn't she?
She is so cool. And she said something about like you've been kind to my clients, and I don't know anything about anyone, and so I'm like, who are your clients? And she said, well, Ashley Poston. And I was like, oh my god, I was like so excited and fangirling. I was like, yes, I love her so much.
Oh my gosh, so, I love that so much.
Now that I know that it was like your agent who encouraged you to do this, like I love her even more.
Yeah, she was like, the weirder the better, and I was like, good, because this is kind of weird.
And it works so well. Like you said, I mean, it's true that there are like very serious themes. Like I I like, it's such a good exploration of grief and like her journey. Like there is this kind of, I don't want to say it's not a treasure hunt, but like she has these tasks that she has to go through. And
Mhm.
then like that goes as she goes through these tasks, she processes the grief. And like it's just such a, I don't know, it was just so cathartic to read. And I don't know, it felt very meaningful to me as someone who has also lost people who are important to me. I
Mhm.
truly loved reading it, but at the same time it's so whimsical
Mhm.
and funny. You have such a talent for like creating characters that are immediately likable. Florence's father is not on scene like for a long time, even though of course like
Mhm.
he's all over the book, but he is so lovable. Like just in the few pages we get with him, like I loved him. And like all the other characters are so recognizable. The setting, the city, like are you, I mean, is the setting inspired by where you grew up or?
Kind of, yeah. So I live in South Carolina, and I wanted to set it in like the upstate because I wanted it to be kind of like mountainous, a little bit like a little bit Appalachia, right? So,
Mhm.
and I wanted it to also kind of like mirror a Stars Hollow esque vibe. So that's why I set it up towards Asheville and that area. but uh but yeah, it was a lot of fun to create the fictional town of Marymount, and Marymont's lovely mayor,
The
Ruff
mayor.
the dog. The mayor's the best part.
I loved him so much. I also love that. So Florence is a ghostwriter, and something that was so fun is that so her brother keeps trying to guess who she is ghostwriting for, and like you are dropping real names of real authors, and like it kind of felt like you were, you know, talking about my friends in the book who also write romance novels, even though like when I was reading it I had never like met Christina Lauren or anything, but I was like, oh my god, I know them, oh, Lisa Kleinfeld, Christina Lauren. It was amazing.
And Christina Lauren, they're so cool too. I'm like, I had to name drop them, and also like Rebecca Weatherspoon and Courtney Milan, like all of
Yes,
all of like the authors that I am huge fans of. Nora Roberts.
absolutely. It's
So
truly a love letter to like, you know, the romance, not just romance novels, but the romance community, it felt to me,
mhm.
and I really loved it. There was also like without going into spoiler, at the time, I don't remember, but like at the time I remember everyone was talking about that weird author who wrote that woman in the window book. And like I was like, this is shade, like this has to be shade. Was it shade?
there are a lot of bits that I pulled from like my real life time in publishing. That was not one of them, but
Okay, okay,
but
okay, fine.
but I do but I there are quite a few things that were pulled from like me working in publishing, because I worked in publishing for a few years, and I was a marketing designer, and I also designed covers for a while,
Oh my
but
god,
but
did you
yeah, so
did you design, like did you have any input on your own cover, which by the way is one of my favorite ever? Like it's just the color, the ravens, like the fact that they're laying down,
I
I love
had
it.
I had absolutely no. It's not that I didn't have a say in it, because I did have, because like Berkeley's really good at like working with you on your cover,
Mhm.
right? But
Yeah.
no, like the designer, like who designed the Dead Romantics cover, it was just one of like the 7 that they had created, and we were like, yes, that one. It was just like, no notes. It's fantastic. So
It's, yeah, no,
very
it's
lucky.
I kind of, I'm curious. I want to see the other ones now, but like, yeah, this is perfect. I can't imagine anything more perfect. I love everything about it.
I
Um,
will privately show you one of them
yes,
later. So just
I'm
you can remind
excited.
me.
I'm excited. So, okay, we were
Yeah.
talking about this thing, Raylo. I don't know. I'd never heard of it, but you taught me out what it was. So was Ray the inspiration for Florence, or was it more of a like a mix of different things?
So when I took the plot out of the fanfic and when I shook it out, like Ray was one of the people that I left because like Ray is so distinctive, right? And I wanted to create a character that was a foil for what I wanted her to go through in the novel, and that's how like Florence came about.
Mm-hmm.
So like Florence really doesn't have anything to do with Ray, but I mean, but Ben Andor, Cassian Andor, it's like that relationship is there, and also her best friend Rose. So those
Rose.
those are bits that remain. But yeah, no, Florence is wholly unique to the Dead Romantics because I needed a character who could go through what I needed her to go through in the
Of
novel.
course. So I'm just gonna put it out there. If this book were to become a movie, which would be a great movie, if
That'd be cool.
Adam Driver were interested in the role of our ghostly editor, I
I
think,
wouldn't say no.
right? Like, I'm just saying.
And if not Adam Driver, Lee Pace could absolutely knock it out of the ballpark. Like,
Lee Pace is so good. Oh my God.
so good.
Yes, I am
And
such a
like
huge fan.
Lee Pace is like great in glasses. So, I mean, it really all depends on like what they're going for. But
Totally. Totally. I So have you ever been a ghostwriter?
I have not been a ghostwriter, but I do have some friends who have. So I have like talked with them about the whole ghostwriting process.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't like go into that not knowing. Well, okay, I did kind of go into it not knowing anything, but I learned very quickly because that's what you have to do. But yeah. So I also did a lot of research on like family owned funeral homes and like the mortuary system and all of that, and like the practice of death, and like a lot of that did not make it into the novel, mostly because it's from Florence's point of view. If it was from Alice's, her sister's, then I would have incorporated a lot more. But because Florence didn't really want anything to do with her family's business, it doesn't really make sense for her to know like a lot about the business or about preparations or anything like that. Just the set dressings, basically.
Absolutely. Do you think you're going to like revisit Marymount and just like the funeral home? I don't know if you have plans, because you are a very successful YA and kid lit author as well. I don't know if you have plans to continue with. It felt like I was telling you that you are very successful. It was more like, hey,
thank
people
you.
at home.
Hey, I feel like I am too.
Are you like, do you have plans to continue with like, are other characters? And I don't know, maybe it's possible you can tell us about your future plans and projects, but if you can.
I am not all that sure. I know my next book is not going to have anything to do with the Dead Romantics. It's not a sequel, but you will see some familiar faces in it. So they're all part of the same universe, but they're all going to be standalone. So I wrote the Dead Romantics as a standalone. I might get to Alice's story someday because I think her and Rose would have a really fun time. But yeah, I am working on a time travel rom-com, and it's between a chef and a publicist. So it is also going to deal with like some grief. So I'm sorry if I also deal.
It's good. It helps us process. It's good. I really enjoy reading about like these topics. Like it helps so much. So thank you for your service.
Of course. But yeah, it's like a half oh no, there's only one bed trope and half road trip trope. So I'm very excited.
Is it like, and I don't know if you can tell us, but is it a time travel like in the past or one like a time loop situation?
It's not a time loop. It's a traveling into the past and future scenario.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
It's pretty cool.
Well, you're so good at like writing. I want to say paranormal, but like you write a very grounded sort of paranormal. Like it seems it's not like, it's kind of, I want to say low fantasy. I don't even know if that is a thing, a real term, or if it's something that my friend said to me and
I
she
would
made
say
up.
low fantasy or like soft fantasy, contemporary
Yeah.
fantasy, or yeah.
Low seems like low.
like low brow, which I
Like
mean,
low.
I would also write that too. So
we do write Omegaverse after all.
we do. So
It's who we are. But
it's just ingrained into us.
I mean, you really like, I just love the way you're able to like take all these paranormal elements and just incorporate them in the story, but like it's still very grounded. Like it still feels, you know, Florence still feels so similar to like my struggles and someone that I can really identify with.
Thank you.
Was that hard to go from YA to this more paranormal adult romance? Was it weird or difficult?
It wasn't too weird or difficult for me. I guess because like I've written fanfic my entire life, and like depending on the kind of fanfic you write is like kind of like they're all different genres and they're all for like different age groups, and so like it's I've kind of been like hopping around for the majority of my writing life, which has been since I was like what 11. So
Whoa. Tell us,
baby
baby Ashley's first fan fiction.
Ooh, baby Ashley's first fanfic was absolutely a Yu-Gi-Oh fanfic. That was that was baby Ashley's first fanfic.
I love it.
I was deep into it. And I'm still deep into it, actually. I still write Yu-Gi-Oh fanfic. What am I saying?
I love it. We never leave.
We never leave. Like the fandom might like die a little bit, but there's only been if there's two people still like writing
totally.
fanfic for it, it's still alive.
Commenting on each other's stories. Like,
exactly.
Please update. I love everything you write. One view, one read. Like,
oh my gosh, there is this like one really small fandom that I'm not going to name out loud because then you will absolutely find me on AO3. But like, but it's just like me and this one other like author, and we're just keeping the tag alive.
I love it. Thank you so much. As someone who recently got into K-drama, like obsessively into the K-drama, and I watch a K-drama usually, and then I'm looking for fan fiction of said K-drama. And for so many, there are literally 3 fics. And I need them, you know, and also I like to read explicit fics. So I usually just like select for explicit or mature because I am that person. And like,
it's like you want smut and nothing but smut.
I'm sorry, this is who I am.
Never change, please.
And so I get into the tag, and there are literally 3 fic, and I'm like, you don't know. I wish the writers knew how much of a difference they're making to me. Like, you are just, thank you so much to everyone who writes for like small ships and small fandoms. You are doing so much for us.
We're just like slowly keeping that ship afloat, just going down.
It's about to sink, but we won't let it.
We're like bailing out water. It's fine.
Okay. Tell me, what's your latest fandom that you've discovered?
Ooh, latest fandom so the latest fandom that I've discovered is not really a new fandom, but it's new for me because I wasn't really into the whole fanfic part of the fandom until this last season. But Stranger Things, because I am here for some Robin and Nancy and for some Eddie and Steve. I'm sorry, that's just who I am.
I'm with you. Like I have read a lot of Stranger Things fic. I actually started reading it. I remember, I think I read my first threesome Nancy, Jonathan, Steve fic like after the first season or something, and I was just very pleased. I was like, this is how you do it. Duffer Brothers, get on it. Like,
just like this is it. I want at least like Robin and Nancy to be in game. I know they're not going to, but they
really hit it off. I thought like it was it was too good. Like it was too good to see them together, and yeah, I am ready.
Right. It's like I know it's not going to happen, but man, do I want it to happen.
Okay, but I think the Duffer Brothers are here in in the audience. I think they are fans of Ashley Poston, and I think
Hey, Duffer Brothers, go call me if you want to adapt it. Oh, and also adapt the love hypothesis too, please. Just pass
but
it and let it be that.
above all, give us the ship we want, please.
Please.
This is I mean, yes, anyway, going back,
we have jumped the shark.
That's it. This is a fan fiction book club now.
That's it.
Thank you, Barnes and Noble, for
letting us talk about
for everything you've done, for giving us a platform to promote the AO3. By the way, I only recently found out it was Naomi Novik who founded it, and I was so impressed. I was like, oh my god, she has been up to so many things.
Right. So like I was on a panel with Naomi Novik back, I think it was like 4 years ago at Dragon Con, and then afterwards we were talking about AO3. She's like, oh, what's your username? And I was like, no, we're not gonna do that. You're not gonna get my username. It was like a whole crisis, because I was like, Naomi Novik wants my username.
It's like it's that like, I don't even know. It's that weird exchange that you have when you find out that someone is on AO3, and you kind of like want to ask, but like you also don't want to put them in a bad situation, and you're like, so what do you write?
Yeah, so like, oh, what kind of like fix do you write? Yeah. but no, at the time I was like, existential dread, this can't be happening. If she reads my smut, I'll never be able to look her in the eye again.
I actually have no idea what her AO3, like, I'm sure she has posted fan fiction herself, right? Like that's
yeah, like the mythos is that after the whole purging of fanfic.net with all of the mature content and everything, her and a small group of other fanfic authors, they're like, okay, we're going to do something different. So they went over and they started Archive of Our Own on a shoestring budget. Like, it is a website that shouldn't probably operate as well as it does, and so it is so important to donate to them when possible. Absolutely. Because their foundation and their funding usually goes to protecting like fanfic authors and ensuring that we can write fanfic. So
and you get like cool stickers and other merch if you donate, so that's super cool. It's you can go out around with your proud AO3 sticker, which is something that, you know, it's just like priceless. I mean,
absolutely.
Okay, so we have a bunch of questions. I'm actually gonna start asking you a couple of questions for the Q&A part that we got from people when they were signing up, and then I see that the Q&A thing is buzzing as well, and then I'm gonna move to that, and I'm gonna shut up now so that Ashley can answer all your questions. So we're gonna be super efficient now. Have faith.
Let's do this.
Okay. Do you have a favorite trope you like to write about? That's from Scarlett Ortega.
I really like to write the trope where they're like falling in love, but they can't touch, because I am asexual. So like that is like my crack, right?
And you did it so well. Like, it's just, oh God.
It is like it is like that trope is the Bella to my Edward, right? It is the perfect heroine.
It's like, guys, if you haven't read this book yet, I'm just gonna tell you, like, there's so much good tension because he's a ghost and she is of course not a ghost,
and they can't touch.
They can't touch, but
so what do they do?
What do they? Oh no! What do they do?
No.
They can't touch, but they can look, and there are some really good, interesting looking respectfully that are so good. Like, this is the tension that we're talking about. So excellent, fantastic. What about the trope that you like to read the most? And it could be the same.
I like to read that, but I also like to read the forced proximity tropes. Like, those are also some of my favorites.
Which was also kind of in the Dead Romantics. Like, there's this guy who just pops up while she's going about her day.
Oops. Like, yeah, it's like he can't actually leave because he doesn't know where to go. So
I actually love that you kind of like address this in the book, like, where do you go when you're not here? Because I was like, oh, I hadn't even ever thought about it. Like, where do ghosts go when we don't see them?
And he was like, oh, I don't know.
I was like, same band, same.
I was like, this is actually the author, like, just shrugging through Ben.
I am like, word building is hard, and honestly, this was the perfect answer. It's the answer we all were looking for. So
Good.
Okay, what was your favorite scene to write? If
Okay.
if not spoiler-ish.
Yeah. Okay. So to not spoil anyone, my favorite scene to write was the graveyard scene. It was also the first scene that I wrote in the novel. So
So you
that's
don't
it.
write you don't write chronologically. You usually write just like inspiration. Is that how it goes?
So usually I do write chronologically, but whenever I start a story, I start from like a scene pops into my head, and then from that scene I'm like, okay, who are these characters? Why are they here? Why are they in this graveyard? You know, why is one a ghost? And then I figure out the story, and then I start from the beginning. And then when I get to that part, I'm like, and copy paste. Ha!
I love that. I love that. And sometimes there are scenes that just call to you, like they need to be written right now in this very moment.
Exactly. Like
It's,
sometimes like you have this like foreshadow bit and you're like, ooh, I'm gonna go ahead and write the foreshadow bit. And then you go back up and then you have to keep going.
I mean, I write usually the sex scenes before, or like at least a lead up on the sex scene. I feel like because that is usually some kind of like crucial moment when you're feel like when the tension between the characters changes. So not necessarily like the full sex scene, but like the moment when something changes between them. I really like to write it first, and then I go back and
That's
I'm like,
always
I
a good
guess.
one to write.
And then I'm like, I guess I'm gonna have to give them a name as well. Wait, let me think about.
Babynames.com. Okay, let's see here.
I actually love Florence because Florence and the Machine is just such a favorite. I don't know if it was like a reference in any way, but I loved it.
But also one of my favorites, the main character in the second book, her name is Clementine. So I just like weird names.
Oh, Clementine. Does she go by Clem?
She does not. She hates going by Clem. Because it sounds like phlegm, right? Clem.
Clem. Okay, I would be that person who calls her Clem anyway, and she would like slap me all the time.
That's what her like best friend does actually. She's like, I hate that, and her best friend is like, okay, Clemmy. So.
Clemmy. Okay, clearly I am best friend material. That's what
Absolutely.
I wanted to be here. Okay, where do you do most of your writing?
On the floor between bouts of crying. Kidding. I do.
Are you kidding though? Because that sounds real to my lived experience.
Yeah, it's kind of real. But no, like usually at the kitchen table, on the couch, usually wherever I can. I have deadlines, so I don't really get a choice sometimes.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Sometimes it's in like it's in an airplane and you have a 4-hour flight and you're like writing a sex scene and there's a businessman beside you who's reading over your shoulder and you're like, sir, you don't want to read this right now.
You're like, sir, I hope you enjoy it.
Right.
Sir,
like,
please tell me.
Free show.
Sir, if you see any typos, let me know because I don't want to. Sir, let me know about extra hands or legs because that's a problem.
Yes, please keep track of the hands for me because I can never keep track of the hands. I'm like, where are the hands so again? There's 4 hands in this scene. Oh no.
It's so difficult. Like honestly, it's there should come up with like a spell check, but it actually checks the number of limbs in a sex scene. Like that should be, or maybe it should be like a job in a publishing house, like the checker of limbs in the sex
just
scene.
The checker of limbs, nothing else. Like I'm pretty sure that might be they get like Harlequin or something where they just check to see if everyone has the right amount of body parts.
Perfect. Okay. now I'm actually I'm moving to the Q&A box, guys. It's your time. Shannon is asking, do you have any good book recommendations?
Oh, what kind of books? I have so many good book recommendations.
I'm gonna
If you're
say
looking for
romance.
romance. Okay. Well, oldie but goodie. I will always recommend Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones, because this is my favorite soft fantasy. But my current favorites right now are The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Bannon. Oh, so good. Very like funeral parlor vibes. It's also soft fantasy. I loved it. And Sangha Mandana's The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches.
Yes. By the way, I met Sangu last weekend and she was delightful. I'm
She's
in love with her.
lovely.
She is the best. Total crush. Yes. Anyway,
she's so good. We worked together on the Vela for the Realm, and she was fantastic. I love her writing so much.
Oh, I love this. This is like her book is also coming out with Berkeley on August 23rd, I think. Yeah. I recently I don't know if you only wanted recommendations from Ashley, but you're gonna get a recommendation from me as well, because like I recently finished this book and it's one of my favorites I've read ever. It's Pride and Protest by Nikki Payne. It's a Pride and Prejudice retelling, and it's just unlike it's modern day. It's unlike anything I've ever read before, and it's perfect. I fell in love with that Darcy. I fell in love with that Lisa. Litty, I guess she's Lisa in the adaptation, and that book is gonna come out in November. But I'm literally like, I'm gonna talk about that book from now until the day it comes out, and I'm gonna make everyone buy it. So if you can pre-order it. It's fantastic.
I'm gonna have to find someone who can like give me an arc of that, because that sounds amazing. I love Pride and Prejudice.
I mean, Nikki would totally give it to you, and it's just like it's this is me not able to deal with how
highest way to like sell a book is to just scream so good, like,
exactly.
Know a book is good.
Keyboard smash.
Like nothing but caps.
Exactly. It's a fan fiction way of recommending stuff.
Who knows?
Okay, so Jess B, great question. As a fellow Southerner and therefore Waffle House connoisseur, Ashley, how do you order your hash browns? By the way, was the Waffle House a Raylo reference?
It was not actually a Raylo reference, which I know. It was the one thing that wasn't, but then like,
but we run with it. We Raylos run with it.
It can be, absolutely. So I always order my hash browns scattered, smothered, and covered. That's how I order them. So
I don't even know what it means, but I want them right now, like that way.
Okay, so the Waffle House like is basically known for their hash browns, not really for their waffles. And so
that's so interesting,
right? It's like hash browns. And it's like basically like the 3 a.m. drunk food. Like you like stumble in when you need to get a little sober. But so scattered, smothered, and covered is onions. It's like the hash browns are scattered around and cheese on top.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing. Like it's right dinner time here. So like perfect time to have breakfast for dinner. I am gonna have to go out and find one.
Absolutely.
Okay, your writing seems to be influenced by other romance novels and movies, such as The Holiday. What inspirations do you turn to when crafting your stories? This is a question from Gianna Martinez.
Oh, that's a really good question. I really love Nora Ephron films a lot. I think I can quote When Harry Met Sally like verbatim. I also grew up on just romance novels. I started publishing in YA, but one thing about working with Holly is that at the very beginning, I told her that like, I don't just want to do YA, I also want to do like adult romance, and I want to like do a lot of different things. And she's like, okay, yes, done, let's do it. So that's one of the many reasons why I chose her. But yeah, so it's like just romance novels and so many romance films, so many, like The Holiday, Kate Winslet and Jack Black, perfect chemistry. But yeah, like just so many things. North and South, the whole like look back
Oh
at me
God.
scene.
God. So good.
So good.
Yes.
And then like I was also like, I was also raised on fanfic, so a lot of like the romance that I read were fanfics, and like not all of them explicit. Some of them were not explicit. Most of them, you know, growing up were actually not explicit because like I really didn't like to read that quite yet. So a bunch of them were just like, you know, soft kind of chaste things, and
That
it was
fluff.
that
The fluff is so good. Yes.
no. And like hurt comfort. Oh, just
oh, the hurt comfort. The best trope, honestly. It's
my
so
kryptonite.
good.
It's
Yes.
so good.
So that's actually something that so many people ask, like, what was for you the process of going from thick writing to, you know, traditional publishing? Like, was there a moment when you said, okay, because it sounds like you still write fic, but was there a moment when you were like, I'm going to focus on something else now, and started looking for an agent? What was the process for you?
Ooh, okay. So I actually started writing when I was around 8 or 9 because I had a really bad speech impediment. So I realized that I could write words down, and they actually did what I wanted them to do, which was novel for me. And I didn't get picked on when I wrote things down, right? So I started writing pretty young. My first short story was a story about an octopus who went into a shoe store to buy a pair of shoes.
Did you
and then
find the shoes?
he found 4 pairs of shoes for all 8 tentacles. So even then we were into tentacles. So
it was always going to happen.
Tentacles were always going to happen. But joking aside, yeah, and then I found fanfic when I was around 11 because my parents got a computer, an old desktop compact, and it connected to the internet through dial-up. And so I found forums, and these forums had fanfic on them for like my favorite show ever, Yu-Gi-Oh! So I was like, oh my God, people can do this. They can write about these characters that they like. And apparently they could. So I was like, I'm going to do this too. So
the time, that moment, it's like a Narnia in the closet like experience. Like it's really a new world when you discover fan fiction. You're like, oh my God. Oh my God.
It's just, it was so, it just opened up my entire world. I found a community through fanfic and fandom. I found myself in fanfic and fandom, and it was amazing. I don't know like who I would be without it, honestly. And then when I was like 14 or 15, this dude named Christopher Paolini published this book called Aragon when he was like 16, and I was
amazing.
Like, I can do that too. Little did I know his like parents like helped him publish it and all of that stuff, but like my parents couldn't do that. But yeah, it was really fun. So I was like, I want to do that, and so I wrote like a 300,000 word novel that was really bad, super bad.
That is like more words than I've ever written in my life. So I just appreciate the sheer length.
It wasn't even done. I just stopped halfway through. I was like,
trilogy.
So, exactly. Then I went to college and majored in English and did all that stuff. And I started querying when I was 21, 22. I got over 100 rejection letters because the books that I were querying weren't that great. And then I finally got an agent around like 20, 26, 27. So
it's such a like, I'm gonna be real, like, I don't know if I would have had the moral fortitude to query at like that age. I think that the rejection, I feel like I've gotten to a point of my life where, I mean, rejection is still very painful, but I feel like I've had so much of it that like I have ways to deal with it, like kind of talk myself into not despairing too much. But either at 21, like, I don't know what I would have done. Like, it
Look,
would have been.
the first time I got like a really bad rejection was I was in middle school, right? And I wanted to do this like summer writing program for like gifted students, and I was like, I think I'm gifted, right? And so I like applied for it, and they basically told me to try something else, to stop writing. So I was like, I'm
Who
gonna
does
show you.
that? Oh my God.
I was like, I was in seventh grade. You don't do
Okay.
that to someone in yeah.
I need you to do something. I need you to take this book, to pack it up and to send it to the person who sent you their
Throw it at them.
No. Send me their name, and I am going to walk there. I am going to walk there, and I'm going to like hit them in the head with the book.
No, what you do is you shove it into a t-shirt cannon and then fire it into their backyard.
Yes, thank you. So I don't even get arrested. This is not a confession, by the way, guys. Even if that all of this happens, it does not count.
This is
as
not premeditated or anything.
Absolutely no. Okay. How dare they? And how wrong can you be? But okay, this is so inspiring for everyone, because I feel like a lot of people I talk to have had one, like, you know, teacher or parent or someone who's kind of misguided and like has said something incredibly hurtful and incredibly stupid also, because
right? And it's just like, you just have to be stubborn about it and to not believe anyone else. Like
so
this industry is 90% luck, 5% being stubborn, and 5% like talent. Like there's so much about it is like luck and just like keep going. And then like the other half is like your amazing publishing team. Like most of it
100%
after like your book is bought is like not you whatsoever.
That's absolutely. And there's so much that like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like even now I'm learning how to write better and how to be a better writer. Like there is so much that is, you know, like training yourself and like learning. And so truly,
you're still getting better as you write more books, because that's like the human experience.
Anyone who tells you you're not meant to do this is just plain wrong. Like even if what you wrote is not like a masterpiece, like you're always going to get better and better as you do it more often. So like I am very upset, and
don't worry about it. It's fine. I showed them.
You really did, but I kind of want to show them like closer, you know, like I want to show
like
them.
Smash their face against it.
Exactly.
No, I always say that I would rather be like 5 people's favorite thing than 500 people's 5th favorite thing, and like that's like the mantra that I've kept my entire publishing career, because like, man, there are some highs and there are some really low lows in this industry. Like you have to just it's like you just have to keep on like trucking up a hill, and there's nothing at the top, but you're still going because you gotta.
It's true. Like publishing is a roller coaster of like stuff that really makes you feel like, I mean, and there are a lot of good news, and then there are like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. And like you really at some point you have to kind of find internal validation and just say, I'm doing what I love, and I'm not gonna cry on the floor today.
Exactly. It's like it's like at the end of the day, you have to love what you do, and if you don't love what you do, you're not gonna be around for a long time.
Exactly. I was with my agent in person this weekend. Aside from I was with your agent and with my own agent. But like something that my amazing agent told me, which is something she has told me before, but like it's always nice to like look at a person in the face when she's telling you. But it's like that the only thing you can control in publishing and in writing is like you said, really, Ashley, is like perseverance and like the fact that you don't give up. That's really the only thing you have control over. The rest, trends come and go, and publishing makes their
Yeah.
own decisions. And,
Mhm.
sometimes readers will buy your book, and sometimes, it won't resonate as much and they won't, but like being
Mhm.
persistent is really the only thing you can,
Exactly. And
count
like
on.
there's the art of writing, but then there's the business of books, right? And they are
Yes,
two separate continents. They're not the
exactly.
same.
And in
So
some cases, like in this book, like it's, you have an amazing book that
sometimes they marry pretty well,
exactly. You have an amazing book that sells a lot of copies, and that's amazing. Okay. A few more questions. Sorry, guys. I said I wouldn't start talking, and then I started talking. Cami wants to know, how do you write your stories? Good old Google Doc, Word, Scrivener, sticky notes, something else?
Okay, so
Say sticky notes, please.
I actually do plot out with sticky notes and I put them on my wall. So that is a thing that happens. That absolutely happens.
Do
And
you do
then
the
I am
thing where like different themes have different colors and stuff? That
I am
technique?
not that
Okay.
organized. They're just all different colors. But
Neither
I
do
do use
I. My friend does it. My friend does it and it looks really pretty, but I also am not able to do it.
I can't do it. I can't do it. It's just I'm too ADHD scatterbrained for that. It's a wonder I get anything done. But yeah, so I have sticky notes and then I have a Word document, and I am that chaotic evil that goes through the Word document and like I write in Word, which is something that most people just don't do, because Scrivener's right there, and
Yeah.
Word like crashes almost every day.
Yeah.
But here I am.
I like Word just for that reason that you mentioned, because sorry, Scrivener for that reason that you mentioned. I feel like Word crashes and then I lose words. And Scrivener, I don't know if it auto saves more often or something, but yeah, but like Scrivener, for those who don't know, has like a million functions. Like you can do so many things with Scriveners, and I'm like, I just use it as it were Word, as if it were Word, and I just write in it and like I do zero things with it.
Yeah, you can
So
like do references and you can keep tabs of like characters and where they are. And whenever I do use Scrivener,
yeah.
which is like when I need to fast draft, I don't use any of that either.
Same. We can do that. I think
Yeah.
someone is asking how you spell Scrivener. It's I think it's
S
SCR.
wait, no,
I'm gonna
I got
type
it.
it.
It's SCRIVENER.
We got it. We have, okay. I am told by our kind hosts. By the way, once again, Barnes and Noble, thank you so much for having us, and thank you so much for picking this amazing book for your. There is a month. I know it's the fiction book club
Fiction book of
monthly.
the month. Yeah.
Fiction book of the month. Thank you so much for picking it. Okay, so a lot of people are asking a lot of different questions about like your next YA book. Can you tell us a little more about it, and like if you have plans to go back to YA or to continue other series? Series?
I'm never going back to YA. Kidding.
I am done.
I'm done forever. No, so I have 2 unannounced YA books that are, well, technically 3, but we're not going to talk about the third one yet. So I have 2 unannounced YA books that I can't talk about yet that I will be announcing at some point in the future. Secrets.
Publishing secrets.
Publishing secrets. But 2 of them they're both coming out next year, so you don't have to worry and you don't have to wait too long. And my next adult novel is coming out next summer, and it's the time travel rom-com, and it's going to be a foodie's nightmare probably, because
I am so excited.
No.
When you said chef though, I was like, this is the book for me. I just like to read descriptions of food. Like
me too. And I'm like, man, I'm hungry.
I know. We expect you to have sampled a variety of foods by the time that book comes out.
I do eat fearlessly, so I will try anything at least once.
I love it. I am now obsessed with the idea of trying silkworm larvae, because they have them in a lot of K-dramas, and I am obsessed. So I'm like, this is my next food. We should like meet up and try them together.
Actually, yeah, we should.
Let's do it. It's
Let's
happening.
do it.
It's a date. Guys,
Yay.
everyone is invited, by the way.
Everyone.
We'll let you know.
We'll
Someone
just shut down the
asked,
entire place.
it's like we're just booking a whole Korean restaurant. And then we order and we find out that they don't have that. And then we're like, Christy asks, how do you feel about Hermione, the Draco Hermione fanfics?
Okay, first off, I don't like TERFs. We're just gonna clear.
Okay,
the
no,
air.
yes. So we are reclaiming Harry Potter for ours, but like we do it in fan fiction and we do not give money to J.K. Rowling.
Exactly. I
way.
believe in like creative endeavors and like buying from like, you know, Etsy and from people who are still creating things. I love Hermione. Let's be honest. I still read Hermione and I still love like all of the stories that are coming out about it. But yeah, no, Terps can go take a hike.
Yeah, so we hate J.K. Rowling, but we love fanfic writers who, and I think a lot of people in the Harry Potter fandom, you know, are queer themselves. There are a lot of, you know, trans people who are kind of reclaiming the characters for themselves and saying, "Fuck this bitch." I'm sorry if I couldn't say Barnes and Noble.
Sorry, Barnes and Noble.
Sorry, Barnes and Noble. We love you. Okay. Okay. So many people asking where they can read your fanfics. Okay. Last question. I think this is very meaningful and I love it. Please tell me that your favorite holiday is Halloween. That's an anonymous question and I love it so much.
I don't know why you're anonymous, Anon, but like I like the energy you're bringing to this, and absolutely my favorite. I mean, it's the one day I get to cosplay and no one's looking at me weird. So
absolutely, yes, it's a perfect holiday. Everyone loves it. You get chocolate, you get costumes, you get spookiness. It's like
It's so good. You get to watch Hocus Pocus and no one asks you why you're watching Hocus Pocus in like June. Halloween Town, you know.
Perfect, fantastic. This was such a good way of ending this. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for helping me celebrate this most amazing book that I loved so much. I still remember, like I said, I still remember the day that, like, I think your editor sent it to me, and I enjoyed it so much. Once again, a reminder that if you have ordered a signed copy, it will arrive in the mail in 8 to 10 days. And I mean, Barnes and Noble is barnesandnoble.com is always there. So if you haven't ordered the book and you want to order the book, you can find it there. I think that's it.
Also, Ali has a book coming out in like what?
I have a book
month?
coming out.
Yeah,
I mean, because
Love on the Brain, it's
guys,
amazing.
It's the end of July. I have no idea how that happened. Like, this is a lie. I am upset. I'm very upset that it's already the end of July. Like, it was literally March 2 days ago.
I am so excited for everyone to read your next book. I was a big fan, so I loved it, and I know everyone else is going to love it too.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's it, guys. I don't even know what happens now. What do we do?
Do we leave? Do we just like slowly disappear out of the frame?
Ooh, wouldn't it be cool? The ravens were so cool. Wouldn't it be cool if like the ravens flew across,
swooped in?
Yes.
I mean, like, it was caw and scene.
Best raven sound that I've ever. I love it. Amazing. I think we're just gonna leave.
I guess we'll just leave. All right. Well, it was nice.
Thank you, guys.
Nice to see all of
y'all. Bye, this amazing book. Bye.
Bye, everyone.